do a really nice job against Bijan Robinson in the Texas game. So I was not startled that I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought Michigan was going to win. Michigan lost the game, as we all know. So now as we look back and try to figure out what the hell happened, how they lost the game 51-45, it's very simple to me. And number one, the Michigan Wolverines got the crap kicked out of them on both sides of the scrimmage line. In the trenches. Oh, that's a nice podcast that John does. But you know what? It was in the trenches where this Joe Moore award-winning line, who I joked about it after the first half of one game, I don't remember which one it was, I said, look more like Mary Tyler Moore award winner. And you know what? That's what they look like. They did not block well. There were very few creases for Donovan Edwards to go through besides the first half of the game. They got their ass kicked going up against the 3-5. All right? Defensively, I mean, come on. How many yards did Texas rush for? Oh, I don't know. 263? That's right. 263 net rushing yards. That's awful. So, Mozzie Smith and Chris Jenkins and all those guys, they didn't hold up their end of the bargain either. That's number one. That's the most important thing. And by the way, credit to TCU. TCU won the game. Saturday, they were the better team. You cannot dispute that. All right? Here's why else Michigan lost. Their quarterback played like crap in the first half. 2 pick sixes. One of them I thought was more of a better play by the TCU player, the first one. The second one, what the hell is he? Who is he throwing to? The guy who was English is the linebacker's name, I think. Completely read JJ's eyes. Now, JJ played really well, I thought, in the second half. And it wasn't garbage time. They were playing catch-up, and he did a really nice job. First half, he was awful. Side note, we don't need to see his girlfriend anymore.
Every cutaway.
Oh, my God. Did the director of the ESPN broadcast have a thing going for her? I mean, it was cool a couple of times. I couldn't figure out after watching the 49ers game yesterday who got more airtime, JJ's girlfriend or Jarrett Stidham's wife. Anyway, I digress. Line of scrimmage, like I mentioned, quarterback bad play in the first half. And the coaching buffoonery. Buffoonery. First of all, I know you disagree. I would have kicked the field goal on the first drive of the game when they tried a couple of times and couldn't get in. All right, it's obviously not working. Just get the 3 points and get out of here. Right. No, Jim Harbaugh decides to be, I don't know, Doug Peterson / Frank Reich and try the Philly special. That was special. Let me tell you something. That was just awful. No need for it at that time. I'm okay with some trick plays every once in a while, but I don't think that was the time. Now, people say, well, if it would have worked, you would say, great call. Maybe. But I thought it was stupid because I tweeted out before that first guess, I'm kicking the field goal here. Jesse Minter, who all season did a great job, at some point decided to turn into Don Brown. And when it's 3rd and 7, you're down 41-38. You got momentum. You just scored. And you have that type of blitz, and you leave Johnston, arguably the best receiver in the draft coming this year, and DJ Turner decides to, on the tackle, touchdown, for all intents and purposes, game is over. They made it, closer, but 51-45.
Actually, just leave it be.
So I believe it was a cornucopia of bad coaching, bad line play, obviously bad quarterback play in the first half, and you can even say a little bit of
we're just
Michigan
in a bad
arrogance
spot that we're in
because
right
I
now.
don't believe that they took TCU as seriously as they should have, or decided we're just going to run when they should have been trying to do some other things. Now, as you pointed out, Jim, Jake Butson, they did change things up. They weren't running what they had been so successful.
Yeah, I think he had charted some of the counters and gap schemes. He went back through and he saw that they used like half as many as they normally do. I don't know
We're
what
in
the
a bad
explanation
spot
is for that.
we're in
Now,
right
Michigan fans, you might be sitting there saying, well, Stoney, you didn't mention
was
one
working
other
fine a
thing
minute
that might have
ago.
been a factor.
It was, but
They
Yes,
played with it.
I believe the officials
And it
screwed up the
stopped,
Roman Wilson
so-
touch. I believe most people, nationally, locally, whoever, thought that should have been a touch. However, that being said, and I know you're going to come back with me, well, it's like the chicken and the egg. You don't fumble on the next play. And they, even though the play was being reviewed, it's like once the review was announced, they like hurried up, it seemed. Okay? Take your time, figure out what you're going to do. You don't need it was bad execution. I have no problem with the play call per se, because it worked later in the game and it worked, with Mullings in certain situations. But that's his fault. He was a player who made a mistake. That's why they lost the game. And don't give me that targeting thing.
I figured. See, you know.
For Mooney to kick a
Wish is my command. I know.
It's probably about 3%
Now you
in
won't
that situation in the game. So I don't want to hear about the officiating at all. Michigan lost the game
Now you
for
won't
those
get
reasons.
confused.
They got the crap kicked out of them.
So I can get
the
a
line of
free rub.
scrimmage. Run game was not good. Run stopping game was not good. And that's where you are. And unfortunately, what pisses you off the most is when you
I
watch
would
the Georgia-Ohio
imagine
State game.
that
and
Mom
you
would be
get into
so
that.
car sick.
One of the greatest timeouts in college football history, like Kirby Smart taking away the fake
She
punt.
would be. She would be
I
car
believe,
sick.
I'm not, believe me, I don't think Michigan would win, but Georgia was definitely, they proved they're a little more vulnerable than we thought. And
Bitterly disappointed.
Yeah, and that's a lot of, because Ohio State's really good, no matter what people here want to believe. But yeah, that's why I'm pissed off. 248-539-9797.
Bitterly disappointed. Why'd they lose the game? You got a theory, you got an explanation. Doesn't have to be overly sophisticated.
No,
we don't need the
'cause-
conspiracy theorists on the
No.
phones like we had earlier.
Yes.
Here's the thing. They missed the Roman Wilson. They did. Michigan did more than enough to lose that game on their own.
Yes.
Stoney, to me, 28-point swing. First of all, you gave up 51 points. Let's stop the complaining.
Right.
You played a Big 12 game and you lost a Big 12
Right.
game. You talked about bringing the Big 10 and, oh, look at us. And JJ said, we're going to smash if they run the 3-3-5. We're going to bring the Big 10 to them. You know what Sonny Dykes said after the game? We heard you. That was motivation for us. We were fueled by Michigan arrogance. Then you go out and play the game and you play that way, 28-point swing. 2 picks for points, that's 14. First possession of the game, you run the Philly special. I would have gone for it. You're playing for 7, you don't get anything. And then the other trip where they fumble on the goal line, that's
Right.
another 7 points. So that's 28 points of swing because they made mistakes.
Correct.
Michigan lost the game, and to TCU's credit, they won the game.
Yes.
I thought Michigan was a better team on paper coming in. Felt confident they would win the game coming in. But this is what I love about the playoff. Got to play the games.
Right.
You have to actually win. Alabama could sit there and spout off and say we should have been there. Guess what? They lost 2 games. They didn't get to go.
Right.
For Michigan, you're the better team. You should be playing for a national title.
Hey.
You squandered a real chance to win a national title because you got to play the games, you got to show up, and you got to execute.
Yeah. Look, and Michigan
I
was like
figured.
Alabama. They gave up 51 to Tennessee, right? Was that the exact? Oh, it's not the number.
I think it's right about that. Yeah. So 248-539-9797. I
Long
want to hear from
time.
people. And I know there's going to be a small group of the Michigan fan base that will make it about one blown call because their brain says
Don't.
7 points, we
Don't.
lost by 6.
Right.
Your team blew it, first and foremost. And TCU made the most of their red zone opportunities. They had a couple turnovers, but it didn't sink them.
Right, and they had a bad call for a phantom roughing the passer.
And they lost their star running back. Kendre Miller is like, a big-time running back for them.
Yeah, Michigan lost Schoonmaker too, and you didn't have Blake Corum. I get that, but that happens. I mean, look at Ohio State. Look at all the guys that they didn't have.
Can we play? Coming up next, I want to mix in the J.J. McCarthy audio that I alluded to. We'll play that for people, the Michigan arrogance component here, but why they lost the game is what I want to know from people. It's 97.1.
I
There's
made this
never
the
been a
right
better time for
call.
college football fans to join the huddle with BetMGM. Register with the King of Sportsbooks using the code COSTA, C-O-S-T-A, and win $200 in free bets when you place a $10 moneyline wager on any college football game and any team scores a touchdown. It's meant to be that easy. BetMGM is always ready to help you go for gridiron glory. Enjoy the innovative parlay selection builders, their daily promos, the boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com. That code is COSTA to win $200 when
tomorrow.
you bet $10 on any college football game and a team scores a touchdown.
Yeah,
10 to get $200 in free bets if someone scores a measly touchdown. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 and up, Michigan only. This is a new customer offer. All promos subject to qualification and eligibility requirements.
Tomorrow.
Rewards are issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credits. Those free bets expire within 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons. Gamble responsibly.
At Ford, we know a thing or two about strength in what we build and in the city of Detroit. Because we know we're at our best when we come together. Whether that's on the football field, the assembly line, or working to make our community a better place to live. That's why we at Ford have proudly invested in this place we're even prouder to call home. By creating hundreds of jobs at our new Rouge electric vehicle plant. By helping build a campus, neighborhood, and urban center of the future at Michigan Central Station. And continue our commitment to doing the hard work that will always set this place apart. So if it's strength, forward progress, and momentum you're looking for this Sunday, you don't have to look all that far to find it. It's right here at home, and it's being built Ford proud.
Whatever the forecast, Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical has you covered. No need to call around town. When you need reliable service, you need it now. Mastercraft is locally owned, and they're your connection when it comes to your
10:01, that
furnace,
shouldn't be
AC,
too bad.
generator, or sump pump. Call Mastercraft at 800-924-2123 for 24-hour emergency service, or your service call is free. That's 800-924-2123, or visit mastercraftheating.com. That's mastercraftheating.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home, or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you ready? Stock up and save big now on appliances and more at the Truckload event at Lowe's. For a limited time only, get up to an additional $600 off select major appliances and instant savings from top brands like Whirlpool and Frigidaire. Plus, get store-wide savings on even more items that you need. Head to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowe's.com to shop the Truckload event today. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Valid 12/29 through 1/4.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 950 AM Traffic Center, dense fog advisory until 10 a.m. across much of the area, so be advised. Police activity near ML King Boulevard and West Grand Boulevard in Detroit. Avoid this area. Ongoing construction. The left lane closure through Wednesday, westbound I-94 from 12 Mile on to 696. And tomorrow, Novi. In Novi, there, 10 Mile between Meadowbrook and Haggerty will close. That's going to be through mid-April. I'm Tracy McCaskill with the traffic.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply.
opportunity. I don't know how else you could look at it. Michigan, touchdown favorites in the college football playoffs. They lose outright, and they did it to themselves. You watch Georgia and Ohio State battle down to the wire, you think, you know what? You beat Ohio State already this year. Georgia doesn't look as good as last year. This is a squandered opportunity for Michigan.
Yeah.
And they have nobody but to blame but themselves.
Exactly.
You could point to an official that missed a touchdown for Roman Wilson, and I can point to 2 pick sixes, the fact that you fumbled following that near Roman Wilson touchdown, and the Philly special, which took points off the board too. Michigan made their fair share of mistakes in this game. They did more than enough to lose this game, and it's their own damn fault.
They waited too long to allow J.J. McCarthy to run. That's on the coaching. And like you mentioned, the Philly special thing. And
What a maroon.
Coaching aside, physically they got dominated the line of scrimmage. And
even if every mistake wasn't made, you're right.
Yep.
TCU, even with a backup running back, was better in the trenches. And that runs counter to what Michigan fans thought.
Right.
And what Michigan players thought.
Right.
Paul, can we play this? And I apologize in advance. There's some music underneath this. This is the only place I could find it. This is from like TikTok. But this is J.J. McCarthy talking ahead of the TCU game.
Well, if they stay in that 3-5, there it's going to be a lot of smashing because it just opens up a lot of holes and a lot of running lanes, and just being able to move people is going to be huge for us. But yeah, just bringing the Big Ten to the Big 12 and just showing them what we're all about.
Okay, you don't think it's that arrogant?
No.
But I would tell you, TCU coaches referred to it after the game, and players referred to it after the game. And it was bulletin board material for TCU, who took it personal, was the better team in the trenches. And this is such a small thing for J.J. McCarthy. I think he's a very nice young man. I think he's very humble and wholesome and all that stuff.
There it is.
Charitable, all that great stuff.
For him to take one question and then walk away, it feels a lot of performative to me. Last year when they lost to Georgia, I actually appreciated him kind of soaking in the moment. We're going to harness it and channel it.
Here's the old
He did the same thing
tracks.
again this year, and he goes, "We'll be back," and then he walks away. It's like, this is, again, just my opinion, performative.
I think it's weak. I didn't like it at all, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't hold it against them.
It's a minor little bit from the week.
Exactly. It's funny because one of my daughters said, "Well, I hate these press conferences." I said, "Why?" Because if they just lose the game, if I lost the game, I wouldn't want to talk to anybody. But you know what? I said, look, he's a quarterback of the number 2 team in the country.
At a school like Michigan playing for a championship.
Yeah. You have to, if you're going to get all the acclaim and all the, JJ, and, I really like him. And there are those who believe he's not going to be that good. I think he's only going to get better. I mean, it's his first year.
I'm not calling him a bad quarterback or anything like that. I would have liked, like you said, to see him run the ball more early. Some of that's game plan related.
Yeah.
Good job.
But he clearly takes their offense. He can do things that they haven't been able to do under previous quarterbacks.
Yes.
And I think this, like you talk about,
It's not good for you.
Michigan squandered opportunity. They should be right in the mix again next season. Absolutely should be.
It's just not good for you. That's for sure.
I mean, unless you think Harbaugh's leaving or they can't replicate the physicality, they have Ohio State's number. They should be back at some point soon. Right? I'm not saying they're going every year. It's not their birthright.
No.
But
they play Ohio State in Ann Arbor, but they play Michigan State and Penn State on the road. I have a hard time believing they're going to run the tail. Well, whatever. I'll worry about next year.
Let's go to the phones. Why'd they lose this game? Your opinion. Steve and Romeo. Steve, you're on 97.1.
Gentlemen, Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Listen, I think we hit the nail on the head with the JJ comments. There was just a sheer arrogance before the game, and it really, I think, stems down from Harbaugh. He's got to get a better control on the locker room before the game to make sure, everyone's on the same page of, the game plan. It just seemed like they expected to walk all over this team. You have guys like that making comments, and they got kicked in the mouth, and they were never really able to answer that.
Well, that's a good point. But look, if I was, so you would have rather him basically said nothing at the media session, right?
I think he's coaching 18 to 22-year-old kids. He needs a much better rap on what they're going to say and how they present themselves. And like you guys said, that was fuel to the fire. TCU, you watch the whole game. They're doing the too small gesture to JJ. it wasn't needed. The teams were more balanced than we thought, and that extra fuel, I think, elevated TCU to, a better performance, certainly in the trenches.
And Steve, I'll say this. I do want athletes to talk and say things. I don't want these press conferences to be...
This was not that braggadocious, if you ask me.
No, but to me, Steve, I just want you to back it up. If you're going to say it, back it up.
Right.
If you're going to say we're bringing the Big Ten to the Big 12, don't play a Big 12 game and lose.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's just the Michigan arrogance. I don't have a problem with it. They backed it up against Ohio State. They said a couple comments against Ohio State. It's just, you got to be careful. You want to talk that talk, you better back it up, like you guys said.
Yeah. I agree. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I do think you could also mention Junior Colson said he didn't know what conference they were in.
And they used that. TCU came out and said that was one of the things that they used for motivation.
And that's possible. I mean, I don't think he made it up. There are some athletes in this world who only care about their team and what they do. You see it more in the NFL. Jamal Williams, after the game yesterday, basically said, I'm not going to watch any football. I'm going home and play Pokemon.
I think it was Rieger that asked him that question, and they had like a little exchange back and forth. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He's like correcting Jeff's
pronunciation on it too?
That's funny. It's a fun little clip after the game. I can't wait to hear what John has to say tomorrow. As a guy who takes play in the trenches so seriously, for them to lose that way.
Right.
And for Michigan, who had been so uncharacteristic, like they were so uncharacteristic, they did not make those kind of mistakes with the football all year long. Right. He'll be back tomorrow. And as you said, TJ Lang's going to be in tomorrow for the last hour. Dan Campbell going to be on the show tomorrow. If you're a Michigan fan, that has to eat away at you.
I'm not saying that can't happen. Is there going to be a better chance for you to win a national championship than this year? Will there be? I don't know.
No, put it this way, Stoney. Was that the second best season Michigan has had in the modern era? Second only to actually winning it with John Jansen in 1997. They went 13-0, first time it's ever happened. They beat Ohio State in Columbus. Find me a better season shy of winning the national title for Michigan in the modern era of college football. It hasn't happened.
No.
Which is why it's a weird question, like, was it a successful season?
Of course it was.
And it absolutely was, especially by Michigan standards, which are win the Big Ten. That's what the program's defined by.
Right.
They did what the program is defined by. They just didn't get to the next level, something they've only done once in the modern era.
Right. It'd be one thing, like last year, they lost to a far superior team. They obviously didn't know what the hell was going on. That was coaching and playing. This year, it makes no difference, and this is not an excuse. And I'm not making an excuse because I said what I thought I saw on Saturday. If they played TCU 10 times...
There's the old Mattress Closeout Center.
6 to 7 of them, but it doesn't make a difference. They lost when it mattered. It doesn't make a difference what you say, I say, what it looked like on paper.
Foggy.
Somebody say, well, they had all these turnovers and they won the statistical battle. Who cares a rat's ass about the statistical battle? And I just want to tell Michigan fans, and I honestly believe that the Michigan fan base is not defined by Twitter and social media and, message boards.
I think you're correct.
And most of the callers who call this station. So I would like to hear from the Michigan fans who actually, use reason and logic about why their team loses, why being realistic, as opposed to some buffoon, I'm sorry to use the word, but some buffoon we had earlier in the program who actually had the audacity to say that the game was 50% officiating is why they lost the game.
Yeah,
he is the major minority, I believe.
I agree.
And of course, school fans from other fan bases. Oh no, that's the way all Michigan.
Typical Michigan fans.
No.
I can only tell you what I have personal experience with.
Right.
And Stoney, you've been doing this. I don't know if people know this much longer than I have. You talk to Michigan fans in person, and then you deal with Michigan fans sitting in this chair in front of this microphone, and sometimes the two don't line up.
Right.
The very first call we received talking Michigan today.
Right.
We spent the whole first hour on Lions, second hour on Michigan. The very first call, and this isn't like Paul's screening for the...
No.
First call that came in, he screened it. This is what the guy wants to say. 50% on the referees.
Right.
And you go, come on. And you rightfully told him off.
Yes.
Hey, dude, come on. come on. If you want to do a blame pie and be like, hey, the officials missed 1 or 2 calls, and I'll give them, a sliver, like a 2%, 5%.
Here's Providence.
Michigan had more than enough opportunities.
Yes.
That happened in the first half. More than enough opportunities to make up for it against a team they're supposed to beat anyway.
And they could have made up for the bad call if Mullings doesn't fumble the ball.
Right? And again, people will say you never should have had to not fumble the ball. But again,
bad calls happen. Good teams overcome bad calls. Score more points. It's not that difficult.
You give up 51, throw 2 pick sixes, you squander multiple chances inside the 5. I don't want to hear about officiating. I don't. So you're right. Let's hear from the rational Michigan fan. Maybe the guy who doesn't call in all the time, who would talk to you. Like when we go out and do shows at MGM, people come by and they're very friendly. The people who actually can be honest about what happened and not go, rigged and that guy also said it was a conspiracy. He goes, it was SEC officials who wanted TCU over Michigan for Georgia. First of all, the idea that NCAA officials in any conference would stack the deck for little old Texas Christian over Big Block and Michigan is a joke.
I know.
248-539-9797.
Maybe we can find that call and replay it later in the show. Because it's unbelievable that somebody can actually feel that.
You know the way you're going, right?
We got people buzzing in. We'll hear from you. It's 97.1.
Have you considered doing something about your hair loss? Or are worried about time off, results, or pain? Doctors Barry, Luther, and Aronovitz are the exclusive providers of the ARTIS robotic-assisted hair transplantation procedure in the greater Detroit area. With the ARTIS technology and using your own hair, Drs. Allie Berry or Chelsea Luther could restore your hair in a minimally invasive procedure, giving you the thickness you want and the hairline you like. And it requires no stitches and leaves no linear scar. It has a quick recovery, and the results are completely natural. And you don't have to go far. It's right here in Metro Detroit. Call today to find out more and schedule your no-obligation consultation with one of the doctors. They will give you honest recommendations and creatively realistic options to restore your hair. This procedure is called ARTIS. So give Drs. Barry, Luther, and Aronovitz a call at 586-612-0757 or visit mihairdoc.com. That's 586-612-0757 or mihairdoc.com.
Your child who learns differently deserves a school where they can learn and thrive. Eden Academy specializes in helping students with ADHD, dyslexia, and other learning challenges find success. To find out more, visit us online at edenacademy.org. That's ETON academy.org. At LA Fitness, there's no end to what you can try with your 3-day free pass. Sign up today at startlafitness.com. From cycling to swimming, running to rowing, dunks to downward dogs, and battle ropes to box jumps. It's all here at LA Fitness, and the perks don't stop at equipment and classes. When you join LA Fitness, it opens the door to premium amenities like basketball courts, Olympic lifting platforms, pools, and saunas. And while the first of the year is a great
Curry Road. Don't worry about it. It will change. Oh, nothing. Just leave it like that. This is kind of like Halstead Road. Yep.
New asphalt.
Yep. It is kind of like Halstead Road.
It's your road. Chump Road.
In 1 mile, at the roundabout, take the third exit onto Curry Road.
I figured. Yep. This is a roundabout.
At the roundabout, take the third exit onto Curry Road.
I think this one is kind of like Maple and Drake.
I know.
Yep. Yep, Curry Road.
In 1.9 miles, turn right onto 6 Mile Road.
paved this road, so it's not dirt anymore. Not as dirt as Halstead Road. I just had gum, so I didn't have dog breath.
Thank goodness. I hate dog breath.
Barbecue dog breath.
Yeah.
At the next stop sign, turn right. At the stop sign, turn right onto 6 Mile Road. In 1 mile, turn left onto Curtis Road.